welcome back to another episode. It's the long-awaited rig rundown. We've got the 300 down here on the beach. We're going to run you through the ins and outs, everything we've done to it.
Oh, I can't wait to get stuck into this one. And yes, as Caitlin said, it's on the beach for the first time. It's its first time off-road, so let's not wait and let's get straight into it.
Now, so many of you are probably wondering, what model did we go for? Did we go for the GR? No. We went just for the GXL LANDCRUISER 300 series. It's all we needed. We were going to be changing a whole bunch anyway. Yes, it would probably be more beneficial to have that twin locked, but if we decide that we do need that, we can just have that put in at a later time. But the GXL is what fitted in with our price budget, so that's what we went for, and she's turned up a treat.
Okay guys, time to get stuck into this build. First off though, I would like to start by thanking Pinnacle 4x4 up at Underwood. They have done an awesome job. They've kitted this thing out. We literally dropped this thing off to them when it was stock. Now look at how much is done to this, and they have just done an absolutely stunning job. They've done the full Summit Series build, so if you haven't looked at them before, make sure to go check them out or drop your car in there, because those boys know what they're doing. So first off the rank, we have the Off-Road Animal Toro bar. Now, not only does it look good, it's super lightweight. It's probably one of the lighter weight bull bars for the 300 series option. Offers a lot of protection. Also has these vents here for the airflow to keep going through to the coolers, to keep all the transmission and whatnot all cool while we're driving, which is a must, because we're going to be towing and we're going to need to keep this motor and everything cool. So great addition. And as well on the bar, we have Steady Type X Pros. Now we have used Steady lights on the Hilux around Australia, been super bright and efficient, and just done the job that we've always wanted them to do. And the service is outstanding. So the Off-Road Animal Bull Bar also has a little nook for a light bar. We've got a Steady light bar in there. And then if you come down a little bit lower, we have the Carbon Off-Road winch. Now this is a 12,000 pound winch, which we had on the Hilux and we're still going to use on the 300. Now, never had an issue with the Carbon Off-Road winches. Always heard how great quality they were. So we've stuck one on the 300 and that's gonna do the trick for us if we get into a little bit of trouble. Another feature about the Off-Road Animal Bull Bar is you'll see there's little dots on the front. They're our sensors. They're all inbuilt to the bull bar. So super handy. If I'm in a car park, it's still gonna beep at me like a stock one would as well. And on the front as well, we have custom off-road bash plates. We've got the 4-piece kit. Goes all the way through, covering the radiator, transmission, everything that's gonna cost thousands of dollars if we need to replace it. So super practical for off-roading. We've got that all fitted up and looking tidy under there. Okay, moving around to our tyre rim selection as well as our suspension. First off, the tyres, they're a Maxxis Razor all-terrain. They are a 295/70 on an 18-inch rim. The rim is a King Off-Road. It is a Hurricane in a satin black, 18-inch, 18x9, and that is a 35p offset. So they not only look good, super practical, all-terrain tyre. It's going to be, you know, best of both worlds. We're going to be able to get great use out of it while on the blacktop, as well as off-road as well. The tread on the sidewall is awesome. We had these around Australia, never failed us. That's why we've gone Maxxis again. Now, suspension. We got the 4.2 ton GVM upgrade by J-Max. Now, this was definitely a must for us. We're going to be carrying a fair bit of weight and towing the caravan. So we were like, you know what? We need as much weight capacity as we can possibly get, and J-Max had that. Now with the J-Max GVM kit, we get the remote resis, we get the alpha shocks, the springs, the diff bracing, we get the airbags in the back, and it also comes with these flares as well to make it all legal. Now that's all legal, that's all been engineered as well. Looks all tidy under there, and it's also the manual kit, not the automatic. We just decided to go the manual. If we need to change it, you know what, we're going to learn how to do it. That's just how it works in four-wheel driving. So yeah, that's the suspension in a nutshell. If you've got any questions about the suspension in detail, make sure to drop a comment. We'd be more than happy to answer. Moving up, I did mention the flares. Now we've got the Fat Bar 4-inch snorkel. Why we went a stainless snorkel? Just for personal choice. We ran it on the Hilux, never had an issue. Aesthetically pleasing. You know, we can color code it to whatever we got. We got the black to match everything. It's not plastic, it's stainless steel. It's going to last long. It's heavy duty. There you go. You've also got your GME whip here. We opted for the smaller one rather than the big lanky ones that'll stand up, you know, above the roof. If we're off-roading, this isn't going to hit on a tree and dingle around and whack whatever. That is sitting on an in-house made bracket by Pinnacle, and they've made that so when the bonnet lifts up, it's going to sit pretty much on the angle of the window. It's not going to hit anything or get in the way. It's just sitting up there nice and tidy, and it's not in my range of vision when I'm driving. The problem I had in the Hilux was when I put the light bar on top, I put it on and it'd just flick straight in to this whip and just blind me. So you know what, we moved it to the side, and it also gives us great coverage from the side and back. You're not getting obstructed by the whole vehicle. Now, moving along the side a little bit more, we have the OCAM weather shields. They're in like a bit of a tint as well, so it sort of fits with the theme that we're running for. Windows are tinted, it all just kind of blends in. We're going to be able to have the windows down if it's raining and just get some fresh air in, so that was the thought process behind that. Moving down the side as well, we've got the Fat Bar side steps. 1, great protection. 2, we need a step to get in this thing because it's got a 3-inch lift in it, so she's a little bit bigger than the Luxie. And the paint job on this just matches in with the theme. We've also got a plate on top here that's like a textured kind of a feel, so it's going to last long. You can see there's sand on here right now. That's not going to mark any of that black paint off. So that was the idea behind there. Gives us still great protection. We've never had an issue with the Fat Bar side steps on the Hilux either, so that's why we went these on the 300. But yeah, ripper. So I can't have all the fun. I'm going to hand this over to Caitlin and she can have a look up top and around the back.
All right, let's talk about paint protection. We've gone for bush wraps on our vehicle. We've gone the advanced bush wraps, and that is a pro installation done by Slickaz. It's going to protect our car from scratches because, you know, we've made it for touring. It's going to be going off-road, so if we can protect our paint the best we can, that's what we're going to do. So that's why we opted for bush wraps. We also have the Rhino Rack roof platform up the top. Super practical. We've got a storage tub up there. At the moment, that's got our recovery boards in there. Not sure if we're going to use that for something else, but at the moment, that's where our recovery boards are. If we take them out, we're going to mount them somewhere else, but for now, that's where they are. Over on the other side, we've got a 180 watt Energize solar panel, just so that we can keep our 12 watt setup charged at all times, even if we're camped up for a few days and not using the vehicle as much. It's going to be getting solar charge from the sun. We also have utility lights around both sides of the car. So on the left hand and right side, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 utility lights. And we've also got the steady light bar across the front of our Rhino Rack. We weren't going to get this, but we decided why not have the extra light, and also it does help with the sound of the wind that would be channeling through the roof rack, so it just helps to block out that little bit of wind noise there. All right, so our rear bar, we have gone for a Cruiser Company rear bar with the quarter hoops as well. We had this color match to the car, but we also did get the swingaways in black, just to fit in with everything else that we've got going on. We opted for the dual jerry can holder and the 1 spare tire carrier. 1, it's practical. No, we're not carrying a wheel underneath. We've just put one on the back here. It's practical if we need to get it off, and we're not going to be messing around getting under the car for that. We've also got a Gen Y 5-inch drop hitch there. This rides a little bit higher than the Hilux, so it just gives us that opportunity to make sure the van is level when we're towing. At the back, we've also got an Anderson plug for when we're towing, and the 7-pin and the manual controls to the airbag suspension if we need. Now, taking a look in the back here, this is the Zenith touring setup by Pinnacle. This stuff is all Australian made, in-house, so the quality is just unmatched. This is the Gen 2 Zenith setup as well, so we'll take you through the drawer setup, give you a closer look, but the Gen 2 new handles are just amazing. We've got these color matched to the car as well, but let's take a look inside what we've got here. So up top, we've got a big deep drawer. This one pulls all the way out. There is so much room for storage in here. We've got our recovery kit in here. This is a carbon off-road recovery kit. That is massive, and it fits in the drawer with ease. So there's just so much space in here, which is what we wanted to have the most, is just optimized storage in the back of this vehicle. Now, taking a look at this, this is one of my favorite features. It is our bench. And it's also on gas struts, so pulls up just like this, and we've got storage underneath here again. The idea for us is to put our cutlery, plates, tea towels, and all of that kind of kitchen stuff that we might need. If we're somewhere without the van, we've still got our full kitchen setup in the back here. This is nice and sturdy as well. It's not flimsy like some that you see. It doesn't wobble around. It actually takes a bit to push it back in, like that. Now, we've gone for a Bushman 85-litre upright fridge in the back here as well. We had one in the Hilux. It did not fault us. We just love having an upright fridge. It suits us well, so that's why we've gone for that again. Now, you're probably wondering, why is the fridge on a fridge slide? Well, this actually pulls all the way out, and I'll show you what's at the back here. We've got 3 holes for a pantry space, so they are deep as well. They go for the depth of the fridge, so we can just fit so much stuff in there. And of course, we've got another hidden drawer as well here on the side of the fridge, which is just awesome. Can't get enough of storage. Now, our 12-volt setup in the back is actually hidden under this drawer setup. We've gone for a full EnerDrive system, 200 amp hours of lithium. Like I said, we do have the 180-watt solar panel on the roof as well. We've got the Cymarine screen here. This is just awesome. It tells us how much battery percentage we have, how many days of use we've got left, and it tells us all sorts of things like where we're using amps, where we're getting charged from. So that's just awesome. We didn't have that in the Hilux, so it is quite the luxury, I must say. We've also got an Anderson here. Both sides of the drawer setup, we do have sockets and charging, USB-C and USB there. Now, this is our Switch Pro panel. This is one of them. The other one we do have in cab, but we'll show you that when we get to it. So this controls things such as our stereo. Now, we've got the EcoX Gear SE26 speaker up here. Pinnacle has mounted that on Zenith brackets. Again, these are brackets made in-house. That's mounted up there perfectly, and we are super lucky it clears the fridge because this is exactly where we want it, and Pinnacle have made it work. So that is what is controlled here. We can control our stereo. We've got the utility lights, like I mentioned, down the left-hand and right-hand side of the vehicle. So that's controlled by that as well. And we've also got dome lights up in here as well that is controlled by here. Now, over this side, we have our 2000 watt inverter. It has the PowerPoint sockets here. And we also have a dual ARB air compressor. So this is on a 9-meter retractable hose, and that is also controlled by the Switch Pro switch right here, which is just awesome. Alrighty, so as Michael mentioned before about this bracket that Pinnacle made for the GME, this is how it slides back. So it's just super uniform and sits nice and neat there. Now, we've gone pretty stock under here, nothing has changed, but we thought we'd show you the wiring. Pinnacle have done an outstanding job making all the wiring look super neat and tidy. You can't even see where all this wiring is going up to the lights on the roof because it's hidden so nicely. So we're super stoked about that. You know, some of the wiring in our previous setup was a little bit chaotic, so it's nice to have that peace of mind that all our wiring in here is neat, not only neat and tidy, but it's also labeled as well. So if we do have any issues with any circuit breakers or anything, it's going to be easy for us to isolate where the problem is because everything is labeled under here. So
guys, as you can see, I'm in the cab of the 300. It's all pretty relatively stock here inside, but there are a couple of mods that just make life a little bit easier when we're on the road. First off, I'm going to start by the Switch Pro control panel that we've got up above here. Now, what this does is it does the exact same thing as the back. We can control all the lights down the left and the right, the domes at the back. We can also control the ARB air compressor and the Eco X Gear speaker in the back. So that's all pretty cool and handy to have right there at our fingertips when we're sitting in the front of the car. Whilst on the topic of that ARB air compressor, Caitlin forgot to mention that we also have a pressure control unit. So this can be controlled, all of our tyre pressures and our airbags controlled on our phone, which is very handy in the ARB app. So that's very handy. Moving on, another thing in the inside here, we've got the Razorback seat covers. Now they're the neoprene seat covers and they're super comfy, super easy to fit, and they are like a wetsuit material, so they're going to clean up a treat. If there's anything that's going to spill on our seats, it's not going to go through to the actual seat. It's going to keep the underside all nice and tidy. Moving on, we've got our GME XRS controller that we can control in cab here. All the box is hidden away behind the dash, so we've just got that sitting there on a nice tidy little bracket. Okay, so that is the 300 in a nutshell. Yes, we do have a couple of little things that we've still got to do to this build. Couple to mention. We want to get the front windscreen ceramic coated because we've got the sides done and we've already noticed the difference in the amount of heat that comes in from the sides. We're not going to get sunburnt as we would have without the ceramic coating. So we're going to get that on the front. That's going to protect the dash and everything. We've got to put clear views on this thing. We want to put a custom exhaust on it as well. And we've also got to put an awning on it. We really noticed on our Fraser trip how much we use an awning. So this is a definite must to the 300 build. And you're probably wondering, is there going to be a rooftop tent like the Luxy? No, we're not going to add that to this one. We're either going to be out of a swag or we're going to be in our caravan. So that's the purpose of this touring rig. And yeah, geez, she's coming up a treat. Another reason why we're not doing the rooftop tent is because if you've been following along, we're doing an 80 series build, which is going to be a bit of a bush basher. We're going to be taken off the beaten track. So that's going to have the rooftop tent up on top, and that way we can have the solar and the storage box up there all by themselves, no interference.
Rightio guys, thanks so much for watching. We hope we've covered everything fairly well here. If we have missed anything, if there's any more questions that you do have, please drop them in the comments below and we'll answer them for you.
But make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this one, and stay tuned for what's coming up next. Stuff's getting really exciting with the 80 series build, so we'll see you next time.
Bye guys.